Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank y'all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's up? I'm Spinitch.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Yo, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
The Tinder profile. I'm Spinitch. Born and raised Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Southeast Portland.
So the dirt on that hat is from actual wear.
Yeah, actual.
I appreciate
wear and
that.
tear. Low patina.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, born and raised in Southeast. And yeah, lifelong rap nerd, and eventually tried my hand at it about 10 years ago or so, and yeah, here we are.
Hell yeah. And was that your first step into music, or what was the earliest moments for music for you?
Earliest moments, I feel like a lot of my family were just huge music fans. Like my parents always played music in the car is when I really remember our drives. They had Earth, Wind and Fire greatest hits, and that's something that's always just been really stuck with me, and to this day they remain probably my favorite band.
Well, I mean, they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's a good band to have in your tops.
Undeniable. Yeah, but those songs on the greatest hits record is just still just kind of my, I don't know, the centerpiece of my music love.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but my cousins were both I'm very close with my cousins. I have two sisters as well as three cousins, but we kind of think of ourselves as all kind of one big family of 6 siblings.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, we grew up 4 blocks away from each other.
Okay, so yeah, you didn't even have to wait until the weekends. You guys were just at each other's house every day.
Oh my god. Yeah, the percentage of days I've probably seen them or spent with them is
you
of
had
my
two
life.
houses.
Yeah,
You had 2 houses.
exactly. Our moms are sisters, so we
Gotcha.
Yeah, everywhere together. And 2 of them were huge. 2 of them make music also. And were older than me and just hugely influential and kind of leading me towards it. So
it was in your household.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was. I'd say none of my immediate family were musicians.
But your cousins count.
But yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My oldest cousin, they're a drummer, and their younger brother Chip, who's about 5 years my senior. He was a rapper, so he started rapping when he was probably 12. I was 7 or so, and he kind of put me on to it at a very impressionable age, and so
Hell yeah.
loved rap from then on, and the early 2000s. So he was showing me Ludacris and 50 Cent and kind of Eminem, all the big stuff of that time. And then as he became more and more of a rapper, got more into it, he got more into underground stuff, and then started putting me onto that. And then that's really when I was in middle school, I was this is it.
Okay.
It's that everyone kind of has that middle school
thing. Yeah, that moment where they're I think this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Or just like, this music is like my identity or something. It's like, it's that stuff you get into at that age is like the stuff that they say always sticks with you.
Oh boy, I know
right?
it all too well.
Right. And so, yeah, it was like, I had an iPod at the time, and I would like bring it to his house, and he'd
just hook you up with whatever he found on LimeWire.
Exactly. Yep. Right.
Hell yeah.
Whatever he bought on iTunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bought 10,000 songs. For sure.
We all had the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was just, finding it away.
That actually, that segues well. I have a couple of questions I like to check in with everybody on. And this first one is one we ask early. It's one we ask often. And it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, wow. The first oh my God. I remember, I wish I remember. I actually don't remember. I do remember though, the first like CD I ever got. My older sister got me the documentary by The Game.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to your sister for that one.
For
That's
sure,
a cool come up. Yeah.
For Christmas one year, she got me that when it came out in 2005, so I was probably 10. So that doesn't like perfectly answer the question, but it's like,
we're gonna let that count. That's a great answer.
Word. Before that, my cousin had been making me like mixtapes and stuff, and
there's definitely like a crossing point where like buying hard copies of stuff like kind of became strange for like early starts in the music. And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to that was like specifically one you wanted to go to?
Yeah, Lil Wayne. 2008, the Carter 3 tour.
Whoa, okay.
At the Rose Garden. And I went with my homie Mike. And it was, just like incredible. I was a massive fan at that point. I was in 7th grade, and knew all his bars and everything. And he brought out a flamethrower. I remember like midway through. It was incredible. It was like on the front page of the Oregonian the next day. Damn. There was a point where Wayne was just
untouchable in a lot of ways. Yeah. He was genuinely the GOAT for sure.
Yeah. And it was right at kind of the apex.
That is truly that moment in time.
Yeah.
Where he like reached like the Carter 3 was like iconic when it came out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And incredible. Yeah. So
coincidentally, the first album I ever bought with my own money, The Carter.
No way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Big fan. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. And before we get into more of the present day, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Good question. I feel like I started like, I kind of always had some kind of interest in it from my cousin, but I don't know. I didn't. I was like too scared to kind of try my hand at it or something, and I don't know, didn't like see myself in that way or something. So I didn't even though I wanted to, I didn't like give it a try for a while. But senior year, I had some homies who started kind of freestyling and in the hallway and studying at parties and whatever. And I eventually kind of took my baby steps towards that end and like, started doing that.
Got bars.
Or I definitely didn't, but I at least tried my hand at it in that respect, and then just sort of kept it rolling after that, and started writing my own stuff and whatever. And
when did you switch over from like more of the like, because you primarily do beat making now, that's your main focus. When did that switch happen?
I'd say like DJing, beat making, and emceeing. It's kind of a
they all exist in similar realms
for sure. And I try to water each pot as much as I can, and when it makes sense to do one over the other, depending on what I'm working on, what I'm inspired by, and what I'm obligated to do too. So I rapped for about a year or so. I made a mixtape with my homie Gordon. That would have been, I was 19, my like second year of college. And then soon after that, I just felt like I was I was too specific about what I was going for, that I was just like getting just frustrated rapping over we would just like rap over, like
YouTube beats,
rock beats and stuff. Yeah, whatever. But I was just like, I want more control.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was enough of a nerd about it and into it enough, and I had ideas like floating around my head, so eventually I just saved up some money and found a machine, which is a program I still use.
Shout out to Native Instruments.
Yeah, shout out to Native Instruments.
They were good to the plugin world when a lot of people weren't at the moment. They were like, hey, we're gonna change this so hard, everybody has to join us.
Yeah,
and for better and worse, everybody did. So people credit where it's due. Yeah, credit where it's due.
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. No, they've put out some great stuff over the years. And the machine workflow just really clicked with me. And I don't know, I found it for really cheap on Craigslist. Cool dude who I bought it from, I can't remember his name. But yeah, and I knew like Ninth Wonder had used it, Knots and whatever, and then just, I don't know, it out of pretty much all creative pursuits in my adult life that I've ever tried my hand at, beat making probably just came the most naturally to me, and it wasn't too long before I kind of like got my footing and figured out. Yeah. I kind of knew what I wanted to make and what I wanted it to sound like. And so that was late 2016, I think, or so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That just gives me a timeline for a little later in this.
Word.
But let's go ahead. We're gonna move more into the present day now.
Cool.
First, we're gonna get an easy one out of the way though. How'd you pick the name?
Spinitch. My cousins, my aunt and uncle specifically, they'd call me Spin growing up. My name's Spencer, so it was short for that. And then, I just added the itch later and thought it would be like a cool little like flip spelling on spinach. Like kind of feels like a classic rap thing to do, is like contort a spelling or a word together.
No, I dig it. And also the two words of spin itch, like you can get that in there, that can be turned into something that attaches to it too.
Absolutely. And I love spinach.
Perfect.
I've been known to just
it's much better than lettuce. I don't care what anybody says.
Far superior.
Watching at home, spinach is much better.
Facts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I would eat it like
it's just during sessions. You're just like,
no.
What do you guys think of this beat?
Yeah. Like literally cannibal shit.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so
hell yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now we're not gonna spend too much time on this because we can get into the weeds on this one for sure. But just let's get a little bit of tech talk out of the way. Sure. What is your setup primarily now? Like what DAW are you using? What like primary things do you use? Like, and then like how do you kind of put it all together?
Totally. It's really evolved a lot lately, especially. I've switched over to Pro Tools recently as my primary DAW, which I'm really loving.
Mainly out of the box stuff then?
I mean, it's a hybrid, like I do
as far as like instrumentation goes, sorry.
Yeah, so so I still use Machine, and pretty much almost every beat I've ever made is on Machine.
That is the most out of the box in the box program though, so it makes sense.
Right, because it's got the hardware and the software. Yeah, for sure. And then I have, I recently got an MPC 3000.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Wasn't cheap, but it's been.
No, trust me, I know.
Well worth it. It's just it's a legend in the field of beat making, kind of like a Stratocaster, whatever, to like, there's just certain tools in a specific medium that kind of have that. So
I have a fully modded MPC 1000.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. No way. With the JJOS and stuff.
With the big screen. With the beefy pads, with like I changed all the buttons, the chassis. I put like big old storage in it. Like
there you go.
It's anything you could think of that's on mpcstuff.com.
Yeah,
shameless plug.
Facts.
Yeah. I got it.
Dope. Yeah. This. I got this at the max RAM and all that stuff. The new OS and so it's just been a real treat. Just every sound I put through it, I record through it, and I sample off vinyl.
Is that your primary? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. The vast majority of my sounds come from a record.
Gotcha. And are you like when it comes to like record hunting? Because that's always like the part that's like bamboozled me to no end. I'm like, how do they just go like, oh, this looks cool because of this, and like, when it comes to picking out records, what do you look for?
You know, there's definitely certain aspects, I'd say, a certain year, some labels you might look for, some regions you might, depending on what you're going for, and what you're into. But there's also, something kind of ineffable about it. Something, I don't know, kind of mystical about it. Sometimes you'll just pick something out. You just be like, I just feel like this has something on it, I tend to hog the listening station at record stores. When I don't dig as much as I'd like to, but also my wallet is probably like,
I'm sure. At a certain point, it probably appreciates it.
Right. But when I do dig, it's a good few hours usually.
Do you have a full wall of records yet?
Oh yeah. I've got like a 5x5 shelf.
Oh, gotcha.
And, they're pretty much all full. The ones that aren't on the floor because I haven't sorted them all.
Yeah.
Or I even have more than I have like a little 2x4 shelf too. Yeah, it's.
So that's for the select ones.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like halfway organizing them, and but
I dig that. And then when it comes to getting a beat started, what does that look like for you? How do you go about just like getting into a new track?
It's varied over time. I used to just start with the sample every time, like no matter what, just kind of the main sample, like the main melodic piece or what have you. But then somewhere along, like probably 2 or 3 years ago, I started experimenting with just starting with drums first, just getting some drums going. And I have like a specific, shout out to Dan Cordero, who built me this amazing custom desk. And he built in like 2 spots, 2 little shelves in the desk, like near the floor, for records.
Nice.
And so I have...
You've got...
drum breaks. Yeah, I have a section that's all drum breaks I've collected over the years.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so, I think drums are just a great place to start. It kind of feels like the rice in the bowl. Like
it's the foundation for sure.
Yeah. It's just, you get some like, I don't know, some great drums that you love to...
Like in the world of sampling too, like it's so easy to kind of pull things out of the way of the drums so much easier. But those artifacts that are left over can almost like inspire the next things you add into it.
100%.
Yeah, like you can hear like half a melody and like half of an artifact. And like it really, I think, leaves a lot of room. But the drums are always so prominent, especially in like earlier recordings where they weren't able to control how much of that got into it.
Yeah, totally. And that's a thing with vinyl, is just there's always like, and just sampling in general, there's like more accidents in sampling that happen and that I think are I don't know, just so invaluable to rap and the way we listen to it, and there's just like more little mistakes and little things that, I don't know, just give that human quality to it,
Very much so.
So definitely just sampling from records is just still the main foundational process that inspires me most, and that I continue to I don't know, just feel the most gratification about as I create a beat. So it starts there, and then lately too I've been trying to just throw like 3 or 4 records together, a la like Bomb Squad or Blockhead is a great example of someone, Pete Rock, Lord Finesse, for sure. Like people who just will take like just a little piece from a bunch of different random places, like totally different genres, totally different eras. They recorded on totally different equipment. I'm very fascinated by making a hodgepodge that's cohesive out of disparate sources.
Are you familiar with an artist by the name of Igloo Ghost?
I don't think so. No.
I'm gonna leave this here for you.
Okay.
We don't edit anything here anyway, so this is gonna be here for you. I promise.
Okay.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Okay, dope. I'll check them out.
Just the intricacies of like how many little tiny instantaneous moments and like how strongly they're able to stay within the realm of like what is actual music while pushing the borders of like how out there each little bit can be, and like actually having it still be like exciting to listen to.
Sure.
They skate that line
amazing.
so well. It's bamboozling.
It's a tough line to skate, you know, like, you want everything to have a purpose, but you also want to push the creative boundary.
Exactly.
You know?
And they live in that well. But again, we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about you. And actually that segues well. We're going to go ahead and talk about some of your music.
Cool.
Yeah. So I jumped on Spotify, and you've got a ridiculous amount of music going all the way back to 2018. You've got so much music, and it's cool.
Okay. Like, I'm glad to hear that, because sometimes I feel like
no. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, can you put out like a beat tape every month? Sure. That's fine. But I think what's cool is that your music is very, like, for how much you have, it's all concise. It like describes what you've done through the time, and like I appreciate that you have like full albums too, and the instrumentals of them. Yeah. So, you know, like if you're like, I do want to dig into that more, that was there. But when I was going through it, since there was so much, I couldn't do everything. So I wanted to break it down to two parts for this. First, I want to talk about compostables.
Great.
Yes. 1 through 4, a food name themed beat tape series.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like it was described as, and I thought it was cool. The first one came out in July of 2018, so that was 2 years after you got like fully into beat making. Yeah, almost a decade, man. You're getting into it.
Yeah, man.
It just came out like a month ago in April of this year, 25. And you know, usually, I'm gonna say this right here. When I listen to beats, when it like comes to that, usually I'm gonna put it on, and I just like suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm like 6 tracks into it. Yours, definitely not the case.
Okay.
From, like the first moment, and I went through all the compostables.
Wow, thanks for listening, man. I appreciate it.
The thing that really stands out, because obviously over time your style changes, your gear changes, the like things you use, and even like you had very like thematic elements for each one, so that stood out.
Sure.
What I thought was super cool is that your beats have this really interesting layer of like organic, like they have like a polish on them. It doesn't feel lo-fi, you know what I mean? Like it still feels like it belongs in the realm of that more like boom bap experience. But there's so much life in it. Like there's fidelity, man. I think is the word I'm looking for. And just the way that you articulate everything, and every beat has a lot of character. And even some of the tracks I was listening to with like other people on them, like how you would choose to like do something so different every time. That's really cool. I really appreciate the variety of sounds you bring. There was the track Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Milc and Win.
Yeah.
Where, like you didn't bring the drums in until like 3/4 of the way through the track. Like it was just going the whole time. And I mean, like everybody was doing their job on that one for sure, but just the way it opened up, like during that specific moment, like you could have left them that way the whole time. Wouldn't have bothered anybody. You could have had the drums in the whole time. Wouldn't have bothered anybody.
Sure.
But like that definitive moment and right there, like that just kind of shows like a level of care that I think separates. Not like, you know, not like better and worse, but like it's easy to showcase how much you give a shit about it when there's those like definitive bits every time. There was never a track I listened to where I was like, all right, he phoned this one in. You know what I mean? No, I'm sorry, I went long on that one. No, I really just that was my experience with music.
Thank you for saying all that. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and
before we move into the next bit, because we have a little bit of a thing coming up for y'all soon. Can you tell us about the compostable series? Can you kind of talk about like what brought that into existence and why you do it?
Absolutely. The initial idea was just because I feel like this is true of virtually all my friends, is we just have a ton of material sitting around on our hard drives that may never see the light of day, or if you will, like moldy food in our cupboards or what have you. And this was just an umbrella way to kind of to compost it, if you will, you know, to just like put it back into the earth. And I did the, .com postable. It was like something I deemed worthy enough of like posting for people to check out, but Yeah, I do really enjoy and value the process of putting together full bodies of work. So with each one, I kind of wanted to make a theme out of it. And yeah, they've turned into like, even though they were supposed to be just this like more like take the pressure off, just kind of clear out the hard drive, just, they've turned into like, I really like to like, make
you can still do something like
and do the thing, but
the decision to make it art is still always allowed. You know what I mean? Like T-Pain did Everything Must Go 1 and 2. Like he was just clearing out the vault, but some of those are bangers. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like
totally.
Yeah. All right. But with that being said,
it's just a fun process to get my beats out and have a theme with each one and sort of like pick things out that I feel like sound alike to each other, and I have a bunch more ideas for future ones too, but I don't like really make beats specifically to be that. Often they're just beats that like no rappers had
gotcha, okay,
yet or what have you, or I didn't want to rap on or what.
Well, hey man, bringing them into the world is the way to do it.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Right.
But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to this next bit because you just put out a new track. It
Absolutely
came out today as of the time of recording this, so about a week ago when this comes out. But for this, thought it'd be fun to bring on an extra person to talk about the track with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up? I'm Big Spender.
Oh, dang. Welcome back.
Big Spender's back on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. He was on it.
He was. Yeah.
Fucked up the joke.
Good. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself just for anybody who may not know somehow.
What's up? I'm Milc.
Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys, like I said, just put out a new track today. And why don't you tell us everything about it. Tell us what it's called, what you're doing with it, like how it came to be, and then I'll share my thoughts with you.
Yeah, it's called Millionth Time. And it's featuring, our friend Big Spender on the hook. My friend Sam Mendoza added, who's also, former guest on
the show. Shout out to Sam Mendoza and Big Spender.
Absolutely. Amazing musicians, even better friends. And Sam added guitar to it. It was mastered also by Miguel MZ here in town. And it's the third single off our forthcoming LP, duo LP, Milc on the raps, myself on the beats and the mixing. And it's called Run for the Arts. So this is the third single from it, and hopefully people enjoy it. And I think it's a unique track for both of us,
It's a cool one for sure. I mean, like you said, I mean, at this point, the Milc and Spinitch combo, that just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that is tried and true at this point, as has been shown many, many times prior. But, having Big Spender, having Sam Mendoza, just that really added a layer to it. The track I thought was really full. I thought there was like an air to it, an openness, but also had this pulse, this perspective. There was an essence to it. And you really you delivered on it too. Like the way that you kind of portray what you're saying, the energy that you brought to it. I thought that it felt like it was from here. You know what I mean? Like it felt like that what you were talking about, where you were bringing it from, it came from just like such a real spot, and it made the track just glue together. It's such a cool track. Can you both? I mean, would you like to share your experience about it a little bit?
Man, when did we record it? Probably
a little while ago now.
Probably like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Process for sure.
Yeah, probably a year ago. Probably recorded it.
Right.
Hey, I remember him playing me the beat. And I was like, it wouldn't be a beat that I normally would rap on, probably.
Right.
Like the subject matter is like a little different than what I'm usually talking about.
Yeah.
It's a little light. Well, I wouldn't say lighter. It's just more
introspective.
Yeah, and I don't really be talking too much about the ladies. But yeah, I think that beat, it just reminded me of like an old like Common record or like an old Tribe record where like yeah, where it's okay to talk about love, man, or lost love, or unrequited love. Rappers, we gotta talk about love again, baby.
Facts, bring it back.
Yo, I support that 100%.
For sure.
Real love, though.
Real. Yeah, the real.
Not no Drake type shit. Just because you're talking about the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever's your
pref.
But whoever you're into, it doesn't have to be so. I think maybe what people like about it is it's just there's no nastiness to it. There's no there's no foul. It's earnest.
Yeah, it's earnest.
Good word.
Yeah,
good
facts,
word. Hell yeah.
And it did just feel very genuine as soon as he I remember he laid the rhyme. It just didn't feel contrived at all. And we were both, throughout the process, we were both just like, this is it's different, and it's pretty vulnerable and whatever. But just everyone we showed it to really liked it, and people who typically wouldn't listen to that, maybe that genre, B, maybe that style of rap. But the response was great from it, and we loved the song too. So.
Oh yeah, the homies killed it, like
for real.
Spender on the hook and Sam on the guitar.
Straight up,
sounds so fire.
It did so much to the song. My friends,
it gave
amazing. Our
such
friends,
real life. Amazing. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's already a characteristic of your music. So that was something where it enhanced that even further. Really, really did something. I mean, if you need two people to jump on a track and add real music to it, you picked two of the best people. You definitely did not make any mistakes there.
I can't help but to agree.
Hell yeah. Sure. Now, before we let you go and wrap up or get to the last bit of this interview,
sure.
Do you guys have a moment to talk about one other track?
Yeah, let's do it.
Can we talk about Crayons?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's featuring Open Mike Eagle and Something Brax. That track is a vibe from literally the first moments, those thematic horns and strings, the laid back drums with the record scratch. That's exactly the beat you want to hear for this lineup. And everyone showed up on that track. Y'all bodied that track. For
sure.
And everybody kind of walks in the same realm in that track. So to have definitive flavors stand out, that's just proof of care for the craft. So again, I please, if you can share anything about the story of this track, I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I think I just had a verse on it, rapped just 116 on it. And we were just thinking about who we wanted on the album. Me and him are both big Open Mike Eagle fans.
Shout out Open Mike Eagle.
He's a dope underground LA based rapper who, if you don't know, you should go check out.
Oh, very familiar.
I recently got familiar with it, I always knew him. I knew him for 10 years or more, but he got hip to my shit a little bit, I think. And
he walks in a lot of similar circles, believe me. That's not surprising, to be honest.
And we started, I just actually hit him up, really. I don't, he would we would converse here and there on whatever, Instagram or formerly twitter.com. So we both really liked Open Mike Eagle, and really late in the game, this is probably 2 months ago, we got him on the verse to be on it, and we were super juiced, and our good Spinitch is one of Spinitch's best homies.
Absolutely.
Something Brax, I knew he really loved Open Mike Eagle, and he's fucking crazy nice, dope. Probably one of my favorite rappers right now.
Same. Been one of my favorite. Yeah, that's our guy.
So we knew he would kill it on the third verse. We didn't 100%. Tell him though the Open Mike Eagle was on the song.
We surprised him.
Dropped?
Nah. He.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So we had. So I told Brax, I was like, yo, he's known about me and Milc's project. This has been in the works for a long time.
Yeah.
Chipping away at it forever, and we were like, we want one more feature. Brax would you be down to get on this track? The beat makes a ton of sense for him. And, he was really down. And yeah, he came through and tracked it, did the thing, and then finished it. And then I ended up, I played it from the top, and my other homie Spino, shout to Spino, he was there and he knew Mike was already on it and everything, so he filmed it, and then we played it from there. There's a video of it on Instagram.
Oh, that's amazing.
From the top, and yeah, it was just like this beautiful moment, because it was really a bucket list thing for all of us for sure, but especially for Brax, and so and he killed it, and it's
crazy dope verse by Brax.
All three, but like you said, everyone showed.
Everybody showed up for that track.
Man,
for sure.
It's just a major blessing to have rappers of this caliber on anything I'm doing. You know, for real. So.
Well, hey, man, you make cool beats, so it makes sense.
Appreciate it.
All right, but we're going to get back to your part of the interview here. Milc, thank you so much for joining us, man. Yeah. All right. Now we've kind of talked about what you've got and all of the music you have available. What are some of the like ones that stand out? Like, what are the like memorable moment tracks for you?
Of like everything I've ever put out, just stuff that sticks out.
Yeah.
I don't know. So much stuff, and I try not to.
Yeah,
too much on things I've already done and whatever.
I guess more like any tracks that like have like a story attached to them. You know what I mean? Like something where you're like, oh, when we did this one, I don't ask favorites anymore.
Sure.
Loaded a question.
I have like great memories that stick out around making my first like solo album with my own beats and raps on it. It's called Sporadic. And yeah, it was like my last year living in Eugene, going to U of O, and just the scene we had cultivated at U of O was and still remains just really special to me, and just I had all the homies around all the time. They were always in the crib around as I was like making stuff, and we'd bounce ideas off each other, and a lot of them collaborated on the album as well. Shout out to Spino, to Brax, to Yuck God, or Yuck, Ian Lindsay, incredible musician, Raph, my homie Win, a bunch of people who were just in and around different instrumentalists and whatever. So it was that album, like I associate with that sticks out for those experiences and those people I was around who I was lucky enough to learn from and be inspired by. We played 1 million shows together too, and that definitely I think we all just helped each other kind of level up as musicians and branch off into territory we otherwise wouldn't have, which is just the beautiful part about making music and community and collaborating, really. So that sticks out. I don't know, I've been lucky to produce for a lot of people too, like the joints I've made with Win are really special. She's a longtime friend of mine. I met Win before I started even making beats. At U of O, we were in a hip hop ensemble together. U of O, called the Ill Equips. Shout out. That actually Sam and Doza was in as well, and a bunch of other
starting to see the through lines.
It was a bunch of other incredible musicians were a part of it too, who we're still cool to this day and still collab with a good amount of them. Being able to the tracks I've made with my friends are the ones that I think just stick out the most. But then I'm still gonna keep putting out the compostables, and hope to
please definitely don't stop doing that. Those are dope.
Thanks, dude. And hope to keep just producing for other people who are down with the beats, and hope to keep making raps and whatever. All that.
All right, now for the sake of time, I know you got to get out of here kind of soon, so we're gonna run through a couple last questions here.
Great. Let's do it.
Just real quick, what are you listening to right now? What are you taking in just as a listener?
What have I been listening to? Yeah, good call. Yeah, the new Billy Woods album.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. The last thing that I listened to, the new, also on his label, an artist named Prem Rock, who's super cool dude, an amazing MC. He put out an album called "Did You Enjoy Your Time Here?" That's super, super dope. I've been bumping that. And then, just been locked in the studio, finishing my own project.
I'm sure you're listening to you a lot.
Right. And I DJ out a lot. So,
okay,
I have 4-hour vinyl sets. So I'm always just listening to the stuff I play.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then before we get into the next portion, we've talked a lot about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
I don't know. I think me and Milc were talking about it the other day, actually. It's really nice to have a thing. I try not to take that for granted. Not everyone has this one kind of indelible perennial thing that they can constantly go back to constantly. Exactly. Like
at least like an aspiration.
An aspiration, or maybe some people haven't discovered it yet or whatever. It feels like a very, very clear thing for me that feels, healthy for the most part, to be able to just explore, really. So yeah, that's kind of that's at least at the center for me, is just having it just feels lucky to have this thing. But it's just a beautiful outlet, and something where I'm just trying to make the best thing I can, and hopefully just keep improving over time with it, and just
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to lightning round these last 3 questions so we can get you out of here on time. These are all hypothetical questions. Questions are all made up, so the answers don't matter.
Yeah.
If you could work with any one person, who would it be?
Living or one? Oh my gosh.
Yo, he doesn't do interviews. I found out because I got an email back. So his team emails back. But he's also here, so
he lives in Portland. He'd be high on the list. Most Def, Yasin Bey, is like my favorite rapper ever. So being able to do something with him would be.
Black Star was the first record I ever bought.
No way. Okay, there you go.
All right, and then locally, who's somebody you'd like to collaborate with that you haven't linked up with yet?
Oh, there's a lot. There's so many dope. Luckily, I have worked with a lot of people.
You probably worked with everybody. So if there's somebody that's not on your list yet, I'd be surprised.
No, there's still a lot. I'd say Versatile.
Oh, hell yeah.
My favorite Portland rapper ever, probably. And he's still killing it. And he's just a huge inspiration. So Versatile would be on there. Mike Capes, we've talked about doing stuff for a long time. Just haven't gotten one in yet, but we will in due time, for sure. Jointsy, someone who's super dope, who I'd love to work with that I haven't yet. I haven't at least published anything with Double Leon.
Double Leon.
He's someone I am working with, I guess. So
that's fair. That's cool to know. His interview was a lot of fun. That's going to be a rad track. I'm already confident in that.
And then there's other producers, I guess if you count Theory Has It, he doesn't technically live here anymore, but he was here for a better part of a decade at least. That's my guy, and he's just my paragon of he's just ridiculous, out of this world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so he'd be up there. And then more musicians around town. The homie Charlie Brown, he'd be dope to do some stuff with. Peter Knudsen, guitarist. There's other people.
I'm sure the list could go on forever.
Yeah, Lo Steele's a singer. I'd love to do. She's so dope. I'd love to do stuff with her. My homie Julia Logue. She'd be dope to. Yeah, there's a million, yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. I've had some people who are like, I've worked with everybody, which is fine. Like that's cool if that's like your view, but it's cool to know that your list
this is
never ending.
Portland's littered with just incredible talent.
Hell yeah.
Dope people. So I hope to keep working with a bunch of people. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, alive, dead, couldn't have put out an album in 100 years, could have put out an album yesterday, who would you want an album from?
Oh God, one more album. I'm ready for a new D'Angelo record.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Oh my God, that's a good answer.
He's put out are masterpieces, so I assume if he puts out another, it's gonna be equally dope.
Yeah.
If history tells us anything, so D'Angelo would be up there. I'm really into this harpist, Dorothy Ashby. She's amazing jazz harpist. More of her. She doesn't have a huge catalog. She has a fair amount of records, but any more from her. That's just fresh on my mind.
Those are cool answers. All right.
So,
but with that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Dope.
What can we look forward to in the next 6 months? I know you got the album coming out.
Yeah. So, Run for the Arts out June 20th. That's definitely
the day before my June showcase.
Hey, dope. So that's coming out. Other than that, just I've features I've done that hopefully will be out in that time span. Beats I've done for people. I'm making a full-length album with Jesse the Tree. Super
cool. Hell yeah.
MC out of Rhode Island. So yeah, that maybe will be out in the next 6 months, hopefully. What else? A bunch of stuff.
Man, run for the arts, man. That's all that matters. June 20th, run for the arts,
man. Yeah. Fuck the red. Nah.
All right. Then for this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
You could find me online at Spinitch, Spinitch. You search that, should yield the right results, and I'm out in the world. I'm around, rocking shows, whatever. So.
Oh yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here? I mean, you've name dropped like 1,000 people. You don't want to.
Nah, not really, just be good to people, be as safe as you can in this crazy world, and
hell yeah.
Try and enjoy it.
Hell yeah. All right, then with that being said, I've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
Go for it.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Boiling Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. And I'm very excited for this one.
Okay.
But in all the music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? Bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
Ooh. That's a great question. Okay, I've been bumping this soul group from the early 70s. I believe they're a family. Their name's Family Circle.
Okay.
And they just have. I don't even. No, they did put out. They put out a record. Yeah, they for sure put out. But they had compilations released on Numero Group, which is a great label that releases they dig up archive old stuff and release it. But yeah, Family Circle. I think their first LP is just titled Family Circle.
Oh yeah.
You could fact check me, but yeah, that's
put it in the comments, everybody.
Right. That's a good kind of more obscure one that I just think they're the sound of their records is really unique and just have amazing harmonies, and it's just really good sweet soul. Yeah. So that
All right. Thank you so much for that rec.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. Keep doing this. Thanks for putting people on, and
always.
Thanks for putting so many artists on and keeping this thing going. It's amazing. You and Dan Cable, like,
Oh yeah, shout out to Dan. He was a guest for episode 400.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy. And yeah, just the consistency is inspiring. It's,
Hell yeah.
it's super dope. So,
Thank you. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy,
I'm Spinitch.
Leche.
and we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.